This is the Defenders Rewrite Part 2. Now if you have not seen Part 1, or you just haven't seen it in a while, I would recommend going back and watching it again. The link's in the episode description, but who knows, maybe you're busy, you don't have time, so here's a quick recap of everything that happened in Part 1. If you don't need it, you can skip to this time in the video and you'll be up to speed. Alright. Matt finishes off the rest of the hand in New York City with a small assist from the Iron Fist, Danny Rand, and the daughter of the dragon, Colleen Wing. Hogarth does a favor to Jessica Jones and gets Luke Cage out of prison. Luke finds out that a businesswoman named Alexandra Bond is developing Harlem into oblivion. Because of economic displacement caused by Alexandra, everyone notices an increase in street-level crime. Luke goes to a protest where he learns of a vandal calling himself the Wrecker, who has become the people's champion. Danny destroys a Rand deal with Alexandra. Later that night, Luke investigates a mysterious lightning strike and is knocked unconscious by an unknown figure. Okay. So episode 3, Can I Get a Witness? This is where the first half of Act 2 starts. The characters begin solving the problem. The episode starts with Jessica asleep at her desk. She gets a call. Alias investigations. What time is it? He's what? Where are you? I'll be right over. So episode 3 is the Jessica Jones-centric episode. Jessica meets Claire and Misty Knight at the hospital, where Luke is out cold. Jessica asks, what happened? Claire says she doesn't know. They found him like this. I was actually hoping you could figure it out. And Jessica agrees, okay. But Claire says that she wants Jessica and Misty to work together on this one. And neither want to work with the other, but Claire convinces them to. They're the two best investigators she knows, so they agree to work together for Luke. That's the main thrust of this episode. Buddy cops, odd couple. Jessica and Misty do similar things very differently. Misty is by the books, organized, serious. Jessica does what she wants, how she wants, and she doesn't always take things very seriously. And detectives and PIs don't always work super well together. Sometimes cops get in the way of private investigators, and sometimes private investigators make things more difficult for cops. So there will be a natural tension there. But over the course of the episode, these two will gain a respect for one another. Misty sees that even though Jessica acts like she doesn't care about anything, Jessica actually really cares about helping Luke. Misty also learns about all the times Jessica saved cops during season 1 of Jessica Jones. Jessica, on the other hand, sees that Misty isn't trying to get in her way. Misty's methods aren't as dumb as Jessica always thought. Also, Misty can impress Jessica Jones with her beautiful mind crime scene powers. But Jessica and Misty are not the only one Claire calls. Claire calls Colleen, asks if Danny can help heal Luke. Danny and Colleen come down. Claire also calls Matt, asks if he knows about any new supervillains or weapons on the street or anything like that. Matt agrees to check on it. So this is why all of our heroes are getting involved in the story in the first place. It's not because of some coincidence, it's because they all know the same person. That's one thing that I find so strange about the original Defenders. In the original series, Matt Murdock, Jessica Jones, Danny Rand, and Luke Cage all meet up at the Hand headquarters at the same time by sheer coincidence. There's no coordination, they all just bump into one another. Even though they all know the same character. Everyone in this show knows Claire. Like, that's what Claire is for, right? That's why she's been in all of these shows. Why not have her call all of the characters and get them involved in the main plot? So that's what happens here. Matt, Jessica, and Danny are all brought into the plot to investigate whatever happened to Luke Cage. That's why all 4 Defenders are there, because of Claire. So Jessica and Misty start interviewing people who were near the scene, and they don't get much info, but they do learn 2 things. First person didn't see much, but they did see someone running away from a nearby construction site in a green jacket. It looked suspicious. And then another person saw someone leaving the same construction site carrying a big weird piece of metal or something. So that's the info they get. Danny and Colleen go to the hospital in plain clothes and Danny heals Luke. He uses the same chi energy technique that he used in Iron Fist Season 1. But Danny also notices a strange energy on Luke. Danny has never used this power in the show, but in the comics he usually has the ability to sense magical energy. So let's throw that in here. Danny picks up on a scent, like a bloodhound. And Danny tells Claire that he's gonna look into it. figure out if he can track this energy signature to find whoever knocked out Luke. Back to Matt. He's patrolling the criminal underworld to see if anyone has some new super weapon that may have been used to hurt Luke. Which means, Turk Barrett, baby! Matt shakes Turk down. Turk doesn't know anything. He doesn't sell weapons anymore since he's tired of getting his arm broken by Matt. Turk asks if this is about what happened to Luke. Matt says that he's doing someone a favor. Turk says, I guess it was only a matter of time before you guys all teamed up. Matt says, that's not what this is. It's just a favor for a friend. Whatever you say. And listen, if we wanted to do a little more here, maybe we could have Matt shake someone else down. Like, I don't know, another person who's known for creating weapons, someone who maybe even has supplied the specific weapons that have knocked Luke out in the past. So listen, I know I'm me, and I'm always looking for an excuse to do this, but I honestly think this is a perfect place for Justin Hammer. And listen, I know that the movies and the Netflix shows never cross over, but I think that specifically happened after Defenders wasn't the biggest hit in the world, and it seemed like these shows might be on their way out, especially after it was clear to Disney that Disney Plus was going to be taking a big shot at Netflix, so why have characters that they own on that network too? But, I mean, I'm making my perfect ideal version of this show, and I guarantee you, if I can find a role for Justin Hammer, you can be damn sure he's going to be in this show. So have Matt drop in on Hammer, threaten him a little bit. Hammer says he's only into consumer electronics these days, that's where the real money is. And Hammer can ask, so, are you, like an Avenger now? No, I work alone. It's good, because you can't trust anybody these days, you know? You think you know somebody, and then boom, they're turning your drones into a big old robot army and ruining your presentation. It's a cold world out there. Force Matt to question whether or not trusting people is a good idea or not. Like, so far, the only character that agrees with Matt is one of the dumbest characters the MCU has produced. Not to say he's not the best. Dance Like Justin Hammer shirts on sale now at the Nando V Movies merch store. So, end of the episode. We check back with Jessica and Misty. They've been at this all day and hit a wall. It doesn't seem like anyone else knows anything useful. So Misty suggests returning to the scene of the crime, see if there's something they missed. And Jessica and Misty go back to the construction site and start looking around. And Misty sees someone at the construction site. She shines a flashlight, and who does she find but the Iron Fist? See, Danny tracked that energy to the construction site, so he went with Colleen to check it out. But since it's night and they're not supposed to be there, Danny and Colleen go to the site in costume, which means neither pair knows who the other is or why they're there. Jessica says, hey, what are you doing here? Danny doesn't move. Then Jessica hears something. There's someone else here. Misty flashes her badge. NYPD, come out where we can see you. Then Colleen walks into the light. Jessica asks Danny, who are you? Danny says, I am the immortal Iron Fist. Jessica asks Colleen, and you? Colleen says, I am the daughter of the dragon. Misty says to herself, hers is better. Jessica asks, what are you guys doing here? And Danny doesn't want to get involved with the police since it might end up exposing his secret identity, so he just says, that's none of your business. Now let us go in peace. We don't want to hurt you. And Jessica says, that's cute. And then Jessica notices something. She says to Danny, it's a nice jacket. Danny says, you want me to get you one? Because I'm pretty sure they're sold out. And then Misty asks Colleen, you don't see a lot of samurai swords in Harlem. Colleen says, gets dangerous around this time of night. And Jessica and Misty silently agree with one another. Jessica says to Misty, I never considered there might be two of them. Misty says, I'm going to need you to come down to the station with me. I've got some questions for you. Danny says, it's not going to happen. Jessica, she wasn't asking. Colleen says, let's get out of here. And Jessica lunges at Danny to try to catch him before he leaves, but Danny uses Iron Fist powers to block Jessica and she falls down. This is all the proof Jessica needs. It's gotta be them. So now, Jessica Jones and Misty Knight are going to fight Iron Fist and Colleen Wing, who is calling herself the daughter of the dragon, which in the comics, Colleen Wing and Misty Knight team up and form a group called the Daughters of the Dragon, so that's where that's going to start. But their first interaction here is going to be hostile, which I think is fun. First of all, it's going to set our heroes on an interesting path, where they have to solve this problem, but from the beginning, they don't agree with each other, don't like each other. There's going to be a lot of hostility between Danny and Jessica going forward, which is fun. Second, and more importantly, I think this is really necessary, and this is another thing that Avengers does really well. The first Avengers movie brought together, among others, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. And their powers and abilities worked in completely different ways. Captain America had a vibranium shield, and he was pretty strong. Iron Man has a suit of armor that gives him the ability to fly, makes him extra strong and durable, and gives him energy blasts. And then Thor has all the powers of Thor. He's strong, he can fly, he can shoot lightning, all kinds of stuff. But it's not like those powers are all based off of the same thing. Thor is essentially magic, so it's not clear at all how strong Thor is in relation to Iron Man or Captain America, how strong Mjolnir is in relation to Iron Man's armor or Captain America's vibranium shield. So, early in the movie, Iron Man and Thor fight, a fight that is ended by Captain America, and that fight helps to demonstrate how strong they all are in relation to each other. Iron Man can kind of hold his own when he's fighting Thor. Thor can take a repulsor blast, but it'll hurt him. Iron Man can get hit with the hammer, but it won't kill him. Captain America's vibranium shield is strong enough to take a hit from Thor's hammer. So that's what we're going to do here. Iron Fist and Jessica Jones work in completely different ways. Jessica Jones is just an enhanced individual through some sort of science experiment, something. And Iron Fist is a martial arts master whose abilities are augmented by his chi, which can manifest in a super strong Iron Fist strike, where Danny uses superhuman strength and his hand becomes impervious to pain. It can do a lot of damage. So, Jessica Jones and Iron Fist are working with completely different kinds of powers. This fight will demonstrate that they're kind of on the same level. Jessica can probably lift more than Danny, but Danny can hit harder than Jessica, demonstrating their value to the team. And those two fight. Danny is not going to be trying to hurt her. He's just trying to keep her away and escape. He's using martial arts techniques where you use your opponent's momentum against them. So Jessica goes in for a punch, and instead of punching her, he just kind of tosses her into a wall. And he's got a more refined technique than Jessica, but Jessica's also scrappy. She'll fight dirty. She's a little bit more clever. So the fight is interesting to watch. And at the same time, Misty Knight and Colleen are going to fight. Colleen is going to knock the gun out of Misty's hand. Misty is going to knock the sword out of Colleen's hand. And the two are going to have a fist fight. And then, right as Jessica is getting ready to knock Danny out, and Danny is charging up an Iron Fist strike, a car pulls up, someone gets out and yells, "Stop!" And our heroes turn and see Claire. She says, "You're on the same side." And they both look at each other, confused. Them? Claire's like, "Yeah." And Jessica says, "But then who did it?" And then Luke gets out of the cab and says, "I can explain." Oh, and one more thing. I made a playlist of all of the Run DMC songs that would be the titles of my Defenders episodes. The playlist is on YouTube and Spotify. I tweeted it out, and I'll link it in the video description below. And I have been listening to that playlist, along with a bunch of other music and podcasts on wireless earbuds made by this video's sponsor, Raycon. Raycon makes premium wireless headphones and earbuds that start at half of the price of others on the market. I've been wearing these guys when I walk around town, when I'm at the gym, when I'm at the coffee shop. They look great, they sound great, they are surprisingly comfortable, and they don't just fall out of your ears like when you're jogging. The latest model is their best one yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit. It also comes in fun new colorways. And if you would like to get your own pair, you can click on the link in this video description below to get 15% off your order. As always, thank you to everyone who continues to support the channel on Patreon. You guys are the best. You want to see your name up here, get access to videos early, other cool stuff, throw in literally any amount of money at patreon.com/NandoVMovies. You have no idea how helpful it is, how much I appreciate it. As always, listen to my podcast, Mostly Nitpicking. Every week, me and my co-host, DJ, pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. These last couple weeks, we have been doing our Dance to the Joker series. Last week, we did Suicide Squad, which was so funny, and we're going to do the actual Joker movie when that comes out this week. So definitely listen to that. We are at NitPickingPod on Twitter. Last thing, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/NandoVMovies. It's where I post updates on videos and podcasts, and where I tell you guys where to find me at New York Comic Con for a meetup. That's all I got. I'll see you next time.